Golden Star family. Greetings to those who are new here as well. For those that don't know me, my name is Dorian Frazier, and I am a bioelectromagnetic stimulation therapist or technician, and I specialize in creating an electrically excitable environment inside a human's body. This does a plethora of things from optimizing one's cellular communication, their electrical and chemical communication, really how the body is operating in a synchronized manner. Creating this environment inside of a human body is a necessary process to receive accurate biofeedback, or what's known as a twitch response. I embarked on this journey roughly 5 years ago, and at this point have over thousands of hours of observation under my belt. And when you observe something for that long, you begin to notice patterns. And these patterns began to manifest through patients in different involuntary stimuli, from breathing patterns becoming irregular, disrupted, to observable twitching and muscle spasms, undulations in the body, and the more intense convulsing, and the higher self embodiment, where we are receiving direct guidance from their higher intelligence. I had no idea that it would ever turn into what it has. I was just pursuing my purpose. So through just neutrally pursuing my destiny, I was able to kind of uncover a systematic approach to integrating one's higher self. This is what it's all about. This is the pinnacle of the work. This is the plateau. This is what we're aiming for, is not to create dependent patients, but sovereign beings of light. We're trying to link people up with their higher selves so that they can do the work themselves, so that they can be in direct communion with their higher intelligence, so that they can receive their messages in order to do whatever they need to do to heal themselves. That's what this is all about. I do work with helping others heal themselves. However, it's about you taking your life into your own hands. It's about you building this relationship with your internalized self. It's about you choosing to change your life for the better and take it into your own hands. This is the last stage of the work that we do here. And what we're going to do today is we're going to kind of go over a couple of the different levels of higher self integration, this direct assistance from our higher intelligence. So let's go ahead and get started. Beautiful. We're getting some assistance, giving thanks. Thank you for assisting in this process. We are so grateful. So this would be level 1 of the higher self-integration process. And as you can see, it's more stationary. Very little movement. So what I'm doing now is I'm in the back. It shows that a breakthrough has been established, that we have maintained or achieved some type of connectivity to this higher intelligence. You see, working with spots have an effect on what's going on, but not an extremely profound one. And the crown. Now this would be level 2 of the higher self-integration process. Right now what we're doing is we're working with the inner child. Our scene is that some form of higher intelligence, and it's very similar assisting with this process to level 1. Notice that at any time that I kind of go in the upper part of the back, that it kind of stimulates a response from this higher intelligence. Now these are very similar. The only real difference is that the response time is a little bit quicker. You can see the connection begin to improve. And then there also begins to become a little bit more movement kind of coming from the arms and hands themselves. Also, you'll start to notice the real application of pressure on specific points beginning to happen. Right here, she's working on the chest. Establish firm connection between this individual station of consciousness and between their higher intelligence. And then we start to see what turns out to be almost this universal stimuli of clearing the central channel. It's almost this clearing motion that almost everyone does that experiences this phenomena. And their higher self also begins to become a little bit more responsive to the commands. Now this would be level 3 of the higher self integration process. Still very similar. However, the stimuli has become more responsive, more receptive, more simultaneous to kind of the commands that we're implementing. We also see a more profound reaction when we target where the higher self is guiding them to work with and guiding us to work with. To really open up the vortex of the sacral and solar plexus. Now let's begin to transmit repair codes. And again, we see that direct stimuli occurring on targeting where they are putting their hands. What I did there was I started pulling emotions from the feet into the throat. Look at that. And there is that combing or energy clearing reaction. Beautiful. We see more assistance. We see the beginning stages of activity happening at the legs instead of just the hands and the arms. Also important to know. Those emotions up into the throat to be processed, embraced, and accepted. Let's follow her, and let's begin to round her out, pulling all that energy out of the feet. So really the main difference here is that sensitivity has just increased, the response time has increased, there's more movement and more of the body, more intelligible stimuli. Now this is going to be level 4 of the higher self integration process, and really what begins to mark more change in terms of what's going on. Now, as you can see, the individual is almost etching or imbuing these symbols onto specific energetic vortices. It's completely involuntary. We're about to basically reach the next stage of this higher self process. Now, what makes this different from the next stage is that there is no talking, there's no verbal communication going on yet, just light coding via the hands. So that's something else important to take note of.